Can you see if it's live or no?
It says we're live now.
Okay, thank you.
Are we muted now? Yes.
Thanks everyone for your patience. We are live now.
Okay.
Ready when you are.
We're going to call the meeting for Akron City Council to order. Clerk will read the roll.
Taylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Holland,
Aye.
Kamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Mollick,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Mamobian,
Aye.
Samples,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
All members are present.
Okay. Thank you so much. I don't believe Pastor Varner is online with us anymore at this moment in time. Is he? If not, that's okay. We had some technical difficulties. Pastor Varner did lead us in prayer. He was the pastor of West Hill Baptist Church. We did open our meeting with a moment of silence as we remember the lives of those who lost their lives this morning in a tragic house fire. I guess we'll do Pledge of Allegiance again. We'll have Councilwoman Holland lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to
to
the
the
flag
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty
and
and
justice
justice for all.
Thank you so much. The minutes from our previously held meeting have been provided. Are there any additions or corrections? Can we get a motion for approval?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Okay, we have a
Second.
motion and we have a second. Roll call.
Taylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Holland,
Aye.
Hamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Smollett,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Homobian,
Aye.
Samples,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
The minutes are approved 13-0.
Okay. Thank you so much. We have no items on our consent agenda. We do have 3 public hearings scheduled for this evening. Going to ask if our clerk will read in item number 1.
Notice is hereby given that the following public hearing will be held by the Council of the City of Akron on Monday, September 13th, 2021, during the regular council meeting at 7 p.m. Ordinance authorizing a conditional use to establish a kennel at 1833 Anton Drive.
Mr. Antonucci?
Yes, thank you, Madam President, members of council. Katie Doles is proposing to establish a kennel for breeding dogs at this location. Petitioner has stated that the proposed kennel will consist of a maximum of 7 adult dogs. The dogs will consist of golden retrievers, standard poodles, and golden poodles. Once born, the puppies will be raised and cared for in the basement, which will contain additional insulation and sound-absorbing acoustic panels. A 6 feet in height solid wooden fence encloses a majority of this large 1-acre property. Allowing an additional 3 dogs beyond what code allows on this large lot should not impose on neighboring properties. There have been no previous complaints regarding noise or odor on the property. And both planning staff and planning commission recommend approval, subject to conditions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I don't think we had anyone who signed up to speak virtually. I'm going to ask the clerk if we have anyone there in chambers who would like to testify.
We do have 2 people here in chambers. If you'd like to come up to the iPad.
I'm just going to ask if you can please just give us your name and your address.
You may need to press that mute button to unmute. Thank you.
Katie Doles, 1833 Anton Drive.
All right. So Mrs. Doles, if you want to bring, I'm assuming that you're bringing remarks in support, in favor of the ordinance?
Yes, I am here to speak in support of my proposal and answer any questions that anyone might have in regards to the proposal.
Okay. Thank you so much. Do we have someone else there in chambers who would like to speak in favor as well?
Let's see. He's going to pass.
It's going to pass. Okay. And you know what we're going to do too, Katie, we're just actually going to just swear you in.
Okay.
I know, you know, because we kind of missed over that a little bit. It's been a little hectic here. So just going to have a member of our law department swear you in, okay?
Okay, if you could please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm that the testimony you give is the truth? If so, please answer, I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Seeing that we don't have anyone else here to testify against, we're going to go ahead and we're going to close the public hearing. Councilman Fusco, what's your pleasure?
Thank you, President Somerville. I'd like to pull the committee for a favorable report with suspension of the rules. Baylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Kamer,
Aye.
Samples.
Aye.
Thank you. President Somerville, the report of the committee is favorable and we're asking for suspension of the rules.
Any objections on suspension of the rules? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended. Any further comment, Councilman Fusco?
Yes, thank you. Just briefly, the planning department and commission recommended approval. Been deemed that the building itself is of adequate size as well as the lot itself. So for this particular use, didn't hear anyone oppose. So therefore, we're recommending approval this evening. And I do know the ward council representative, Mr. McKittrick's in favor. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The rules have been suspended and the committee's report is favorable. Roll call.
Baylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Holland,
Aye.
Hamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Mollis,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Homobian,
Aye.
Samples,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
This ordinance passes 13-0. Notice is hereby given that the following public hearing will be held by the Council of the City of Akron on Monday, September 13th, 2021, during the regular council meeting at 7 p.m. Ordinance authorizing a conditional use to construct an oversized internally illuminated LED sign at 1086 Vernon Odom Boulevard.
Mr. Antonucci?
Yes, thank you, Madam President, members of council. St. Ashworth Temple is proposing to place a 32 square foot monument sign containing more than 50% electronic changeable copy area to within 8 feet of the Vernon Odom Boulevard right-of-way at this location. Currently, the property contains a pole sign within the 30-foot setback, which will be removed. The proposed sign, which will be placed in the vicinity of the current pole sign, will be approximately 39 feet from the western property line. The top of the sign, which will be LED backlit, would read St. Ashworth Temple, Church of God in Christ. Below this would be a full color LED area. The petitioner stated that their existing pole sign is insufficient to meet their needs. The new signage will allow the church greater visibility within the community by allowing the church to advertise community events, along with partnerships with other public service organizations. The planning staff is of the opinion that the excess dimensions for the sign are minimal. Furthermore, the traffic engineer has no objections to the placement of the proposed sign. The planning staff believes the proposed sign should be an attractive improvement without posing any site obstructions or imposition on neighboring properties. And both planning staff and planning commission recommend approval, subject to conditions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So we'll go ahead and open up the public hearing. I do believe that we do have some individuals in chambers who would like to testify. So we will open it up for those who would like to speak in favor. Just going to ask that you please give us your name and your address.
Thank you, Madam President and council members. My name is Robert DeJarnette, and my address is 944 Amelia Avenue, Akron, Ohio.
Thank you so much, Pastor DeJarnette. At this moment, I'm just going to ask that you please be sworn in by a member of our law department.
Sure.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth? If so, please answer, I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Okay. Pastor DeJarnette, you can go ahead and bring forth your comments.
Thank you again. Thank you just for considering our proposal for approval. We did have members of our church, our finance director, and our chairman of our trustee board speak at committee today. And I just want to reiterate that what was already said, the purposes is for us to have more visibility so that when we do our events and our partnerships for the community, that we will be able to advertise it appropriately.
Okay. Thank you so much, Pastor DeJarnette. Do you have anyone else there in chambers who will be speaking in favor?
No, Madam President.
Okay, thank you so much. And seeing that we have no one here to speak against, we're going to go ahead and close our public hearing. Councilman Fusco, what is your pleasure?
Me. I'd like to pull the committee for a favorable report with suspension of the rules. Connor?
Aye.
Kamer?
Aye.
Samples?
Aye.
And Baylor?
Aye.
Yes, thank you. The report is favorable and we're asking for suspension of the rules.
Any objections on suspension of the rules? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended. Councilman Fusco.
Yes, thank you. We had heard the testimony this afternoon and this evening that, both the planning department and the planning commission are in favor of this proposal. I do know that the ward council representative, President Somerville, yourself, is in favor of this oversized LED sign as well. And this ought to benefit the community. So we're recommending approval this evening. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. The rules have been suspended. The committee's report is favorable. Roll call.
Baylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Holland,
Aye.
Kamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Malik,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Amobian,
Aye.
Samples,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
This ordinance passes 13-0. Notice is hereby given that the following public hearing will be held by the council of the city of Akron on Monday, September 13th, 2021, during the regular council meeting at 7 p.m. Ordinance authorizing a conditional use to establish and construct an addition to a bed and breakfast at 814 Bloomfield Avenue.
Mr. Antonucci.
Yes, thank you, Madam President, members of council. Louis Baradin is requesting permission to add an addition to and legally establish a bed and breakfast at the subject address. Petitioner has been operating Baradin Bed and Breakfast at his place of residence since 2017, unaware that such a use is not permitted by code. He now would like to legally establish the use and construct a dwelling addition to expand the use. A proposed addition would measure 24 feet in width and 34 feet in length, essentially doubling the size of the house. In total, the facility would offer 5 bedrooms and 2 distinct living areas for guest use, in addition to the petitioner's living space. The dwelling would need to meet all building code requirements for the use, including ADA accessibility. An enclosed bike storage area would be attached to the rear of the structure. Parking for 3 vehicles would be located at the rear of the structure, accessed by a drive along the west side of the house. Over the last 4 years, the city has not received any complaints regarding the petitioner's business. The property is the petitioner's residence, and he lives there with his guests. The Highland Square neighborhood is characterized by a vibrant mix of people and land use in a dense urban setting, and the planning staff's of the opinion that the use of this bed and breakfast is a natural fit in the area. Provided that the petitioner obtain all necessary permits and licenses, the planning staff is supportive of the request, and both planning staff and planning commission recommend approval, subject to conditions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So at this time, we will go ahead and we will open up our public hearing. I'm just going to ask anyone who is planning on wishing to speak regarding 814 Bloomfield Avenue, just be sworn in by a member of our law department.
Would those wishing to testify during this public hearing, please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth? If so, please answer, I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. So at this time, we're going to hear from those who are in favor of this proposed ordinance. I don't know if the petitioner is online with us who wants to start. Is Mr. Baradin on with us?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Thank you.
My name is Louis Baradin. Of course, I live here at 814 Bloomfield Avenue. I'm just so grateful for everybody's time. Thank you so much. It's been a blessing to go through this whole process and the learning opportunity. So just here to answer any questions and looking forward to serving the Highland Square community.
Okay, thank you so much. I do see that we have Mr. Ken Wells. Would you like to testify?
I would.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to talk before council. I've known the Baradin family now for over 25 years. I'm a physician in our community. I've taken care of Louis's mom and dad and Louis and brother and sisters. I know his dad served the Highland Square community for years with their family establishment, the Bucket Shop. I worked with his mom, Ann, at St. Thomas, starting when I was a resident 35 years ago. and recently retired after serving 50 years as a nurse of Summa Health System. I've known Louis for 25 years, and Louis is a very driven man. I would give a strong endorsement for him for this project. He loves people, and his gift is definitely hospitality.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Do we
you.
have anyone else who's online with us who wishes to speak in favor? Anyone else online who wishes to speak in favor?
Madam Chair, I can see that someone is raising their hand. Marshall, I think.
And you can just simply take yourself off mute.
Unmute. Okay, can you hear me?
I can.
Yeah, thanks again for this privilege. I just want to come on to support Louis and what he's trying to do with his bed and breakfast. I'm Louis' pastor and have been for the last 11 years or so. And just wanted to offer a voice of support for what's going on. And I think it'll be a great addition to what he's already doing in Highland Square.
That's wonderful. And Pastor, can you just give us your name for the record?
My name is Marshall Brandon.
Thank you. Is there anyone else online who wishes to speak in favor? And you can just simply take yourself off mute. Okay. So hearing none, we'll now give an opportunity for those who are online who wishes to speak against. And I do think we have one person online with us, Vicki Triplett. Vicki, are you online with us?
It doesn't look like she's here, Madam President. We do have
Okay.
somebody here in chambers that would like to speak as well.
Okay. We're just going to ask you, please just give us your name.
He's saying never mind.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. So hearing no more, we will close our public hearing. Councilman Fusco, what's your pleasure?
Thank you, President Somerville. I'd like to pull the committee to refer this item for further review. Baylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Kamer,
Aye.
Samples.
Aye.
Thank you. Report of the committees refer this item.
So this item will be referred. We'll now move into our old business. Councilman Fusco, what is your pleasure on the rest of the agenda?
The request of committees for time on 4 through and including 6. And the report of the committee on item number 7 is favorable, asking for passage this evening.
Okay. Item number 7.
Yes, thank you. This is the item this is the development agreement. City of Akron and the Petros Development Corporation. This would be the development agreement for what is known as the Riverwoods development. This was introduced into council on June 28th. So we've had time to review this. I know a number of questions have come in reference to this from the community, and I believe all those have been answered. And I believe that we're ready to move forward on this development agreement at this time. And we will be seeing a TIF eventually for this item, but we're recommending approval this evening on this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So the committee's report is favorable. Roll call.
Baylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco, Holland,
Aye.
Hamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Malik,
Abstain.
Neal,
I'm sorry, Madam Clerk. I actually had a question because I didn't know we were voting on this, and it's been a while since we talked about it. Can I get an understanding of where this development is again, please?
Councilman Fusco, you answer the question.
Certainly, this is the Riverwoods development located on Akron Peninsula Road there. We had addressed the zoning some time ago, and this would be one of the next steps, and that's the development agreement, which outlines everyone expectations of both the city and the developer.
If this is the one that the community had a lot of concern about, I'm going to have to vote nay on this.
Is that your vote is nay?
Ma'am, if this is the one that the community had a lot of concern with, I'm going to have to vote nay on this one.
Amobian,
Aye.
Samples, Somerville.
Aye.
Vote is 10-2 with 1 abstention by Malik.
Okay. Councilman Fusco?
Time on the balance of the agenda. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Time will be granted. Public service, Councilwoman Samples.
I want to like actions to research a file.
Okay, you were going in and out. You said you want to file item number 1 and 2?
Yes.
Okay. Item number 1 and 2 will be filed. Thank you. Public safety, Councilman Kamer.
Thank you, Madam President. We're going to continue to take time, please.
All right, time will be granted. That concludes our old business. We'll now move into new legislation.
Item number 0 did not go to a committee, so we'll need a motion to bring that in without going to a committee first.
All right, I'm so sorry. I don't know why we have so much feedback on Sarah's end there. So at this moment in time, again, what she was saying, this piece did not come in before us during committee, but again, it's a very important piece. We wanted to make sure that we addressed it on tonight. So just asking if we could please get a motion to suspend the rules so that we'll be able to take care of this piece of legislation at this meeting tonight. We have a motion
to remove the rule, remove the rules in terms of going to a committee before being read in.
Thank you so much. Can we get a second, Councilman Lombardo?
Second.
All right, roll call.
Taylor,
Aye.
Connor. Aye. Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Holland,
Aye.
Hemer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Malik,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Amobian,
Aye.
Samples,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
That motion passes 13-0. This is offered by, I'm getting so much feedback. I'm going to try to move my computer.
Mhm.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me?
Much better.
Okay. This is offered by Mayor Horrigan, President Somerville, and Councilman Fusco. Resolution commemorating the 20th anniversary of the terrorist attack that occurred on September 11th, 2001, paying special tribute to those who lost their lives in the attacks and offering the deepest condolences to the families of the victims and first responders who lost their lives and declaring an emergency.
Thank you so much. I'm going to ask if Councilman Fusco will bring forth remarks on this piece, please.
Thank you, President Somerville. This is, of course, we all recall 20 years ago, this past Saturday, the events that occurred, known as 911, the bravery that was that it took for firefighters, for police, first responders to go toward the, what eventually happened with regards to the failing of the structures there, the World Trade Center, but running to it as opposed to away. Those folks, it's amazing. Many of which still have to live with problems as a result of those. And of course, obviously, those that passed away as a result of that terrorist attack. It brought us together like nothing we had seen before, I believe, and nothing we've seen since. As a nation and throughout the world, brought people together. And so it's important that we remember that. I know the Akron community came together quite a bit to rally behind New York City and all those that were affected close up, those that were affected by it. So just ask that we support this evening. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Are there any other comments at this time? And if not, I'm going to ask if we could please get a motion, hopefully for council as a whole.
Motion for council as a whole.
Perfect. We have a motion on the floor. Can we get a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Baylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Holland,
Aye.
Hamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Mollett,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Homobian,
Aye.
Samples,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
This passes 13-0. Item number 1 is offered by Mayor Horrigan, Councilman Malik, and Councilman Lombardo. Resolution expressing sympathy for the plight of refugees fleeing Afghanistan, reaffirming Akron's status as a welcoming community for Afghan refugees and other refugees and immigrants, encouraging residents and local groups to support the refugee resettlement work of the International Institute of Akron, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Freeman.
Yes, we're asking if we could please refer this to next week's agenda.
Okay, thank you so much. This item will be referred.
Item number 2, offered by Freeman, ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to apply for, accept, and enter into a cooperative agreement between the city and the Ohio Water Development Authority for the refinancing of the city's outstanding $22,100,000 waterworks system mortgage revenue improvement bonds, Series 2009, the proceeds of which were used for the purpose of refunding water revenue bonds previously issued by the city in 1996 and 1998 to finance and refinance improvements to the city's municipal water supply system, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Freeman.
Committee's requested this item be placed on the consent agenda.
This item will be placed on the consent agenda.
Item number 3, offered by Freeman, resolution requesting that the Summit County Fiscal Officer make an advanced payment of tax funds for tax year 2021 payable in 2022 to the City of Akron Treasury Division, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Freeman.
The committee's requested suspension of the rules.
Any
Madam Chair.
objections? Any objections on suspension of the rules? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended. Councilman Freeman.
Yes, this is, we have this legislation come in every year that we can receive payments from the county who collects our taxes for us, that we can receive those as they come in. And with that, we ask for its passage.
Thank you so much. The rules have been suspended. The committee's report is favorable. Roll call.
Baylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Holland,
Aye.
Hamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Mollett,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Homobian,
Aye.
Samples,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
This passes 13-0. Item number 4, offered by Freeman, ordinance accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission of Summit County and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the Summit County Fiscal Officer, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Freeman,
Committee's report's favorable. We're asking for suspension of the rules.
any objections on suspension of the rules? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
Yes, this, again, standard piece of so an ordinance comes for us each and every year. We just are accepting the amount and rate that's determined by Summit County, the Budget Commission. And with that, we ask for its passage.
Thank you so much. The rules have been suspended. The committee's report is favorable. Roll call.
Baylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Holland,
Aye.
Kamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Malik,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Homovian,
Aye.
Samples,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
This passes 13-0. Item number 5, offered by Fusco, ordinance authorizing a conditional use to establish an auto exhaust repair business at 1475 Maslin Road and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Fusco,
Refer.
this item will be referred.
Item number 6, offered by Fusco, ordinance authorizing a conditional use to construct a dwelling addition and deck at 226 Melbourne Avenue and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Fusco,
For and advertise for public hearing.
this item will also be referred.
Item number 7, offered by Fusco, ordinance authorizing a conditional use to establish a type A daycare home at 434 Clinton Avenue and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Fusco,
For and advertise for public hearing on September 20th.
this item will be referred.
Item number 8, offered by Fusco, ordinance authorizing a conditional use to rebuild a gas station and convenience store at 2129 South Main Street and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Fusco,
For and advertise for public hearing on October 4th.
this item will be referred.
Item number 9, offered by Fusco, ordinance authorizing a conditional use to establish automobile sales at 1482 South Main Street and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Fusco,
For and advertise for October 4th.
this item will also be referred.
Item number 10, offered by Fusco, ordinance accepting a vacation plat for a portion of Ravine Street north of Hickory Street and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Fusco,
Consent agenda.
this item will be placed on the consent agenda.
Item number 11, offered by Fusco, ordinance approving the sale of city-owned property located at 155 Hickory Street to Matthew and Melissa Brooks, determining said property is not needed for public use and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Fusco,
Consent agenda.
this item will also be placed on the consent agenda.
Item number 12, offered by Fusco, ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to apply for and if awarded, accept and expend Economic Development Administration FY 2021 American Rescue Plan Act Economic Adjustment Assistance Grant Funding and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Fusco,
Request the committees for suspension of the rules with a favorable report.
any objections on suspension of the rules? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
Yes, thank you. This is a application for funding that would help the Akron's Bounce Innovation Hub. This is would be targeted for the second floor with improvements that would benefit those that are beginning in the business community, startups, if you will. This is also approximately $3.1 million. 2.4 is being requested. That's 80% of the funding. 20% is the local match, which was budgeted within the JED income. So we had heard the report this afternoon, and it's due by the 27th, and they wanted to have this passed as soon as reasonable. This is also, it seems more and more we're using and reusing terms and such, but this is not to be confused with the recovery funds that we've been talking about from the federal government or the CARES fund, so on and so forth. This is a grant application, and it's different than all those, but it sounds the same. And that was clarified this afternoon as well. So with that, we're recommending approval this evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The rules have been suspended and the committee's report is favorable. Roll call.
Baylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Holland,
Aye.
Hamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Pollock,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Amobian,
Aye.
Samples,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
Passes 13-0. Item number 13, offered by Fusco. Ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to file applications and to enter into agreements for funding of certain capital improvements under the Ohio Public Works Commission's Local Transportation Improvement Program and the State Capital Improvements Program, committing city funds for the local share of these improvements and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Fusco,
Thank you. Consent agenda.
this item will be placed on the consent agenda.
Item number 14, offered by Samples. Ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to apply for and, if awarded, accept and expend funding from the Akron Metropolitan Area Transportation Study, AMATS, for various projects and declaring an emergency.
Councilwoman Samples,
Thank you, Madam President. The committee is requesting consent agenda.
this item will be placed on the consent agenda.
Item number 15, offered by Samples. Ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service to enter into an agreement with Buckeye Energy Brokers Incorporated for aggregation consulting services and any other required services related to the natural gas aggregation program for the city of Akron and ratifying any such services performed and declaring an emergency.
Councilwoman Samples,
Thank you, Madam President. We are also requesting this go on a consent agenda.
this item will also be placed on the consent agenda.
Item number 16, offered by Kamer. Ordinance authorizing the purchasing agent to enter into a contractor contracts without the formality of publicly advertising for bids with Blue Line Innovations for the purchase of 60 ballistic vests and helmets to be placed on all Akron Fire Department frontline vehicles and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Kamer,
Thank you, Madam President. The committee's report is favorable, and we're asking for suspension of the rules, please.
any objections on suspension of the rules? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
Thank you, Madam President. This is basically to add to the frontline emergency vehicles of the Akron Fire Department. With that, we're asking for passage.
Thank you so much. The rules have been suspended. The committee's report is favorable. Roll call.
Baylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Holland,
Aye.
Hamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Pollock,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Amobian,
Aye.
Samples,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
This passes 13-0. Item number 17, offered by Kamer. Ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to accept and expend grant funding from the Department of Homeland Security's 2020 Assistance to Firefighters Grant AFG program, administered by the Federal Emergency Management Agency and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Kamer,
Thank you, Madam President. The committee's report is favorable, and we're asking for suspension of the rules.
any objections on suspension of the rules? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
This is actually for possibility of new treadmills, exercise equipment, exercise bikes, and fire clothing and washing machines for turnout gear. With that, we're asking for passage for the Akron Fire Department.
Thank you so much. The rules have been suspended. The committee's report is favorable. Roll call.
Baylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Holland,
Aye.
Hamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Malik,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Amobian,
Aye.
Samples,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
This passes 13-0. Item number 18, offered by Kamer. Ordinance authorizing the deputy mayor for public safety or his designee to apply for and, if awarded, accept and expend the FY 2021 Justice Assistance Grant, JAG, administered by the U.S. Department of Justice, Bureau of Justice Assistance, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Freeman.
Kamer.
Councilman Kamer, I'm so sorry.
Thank you, Madam President. The committee's report is consent agenda, but I also like to mention that Captain McCosey of the Akron Police Department sent out an email to all of us this afternoon in regards to what some of this funding will go towards for the SWAT.
Thank you so much. So this item will be placed on the consent agenda.
Item number 19, offered by Kamer, ordinance authorizing the deputy mayor for public safety or his designee to apply for, and if awarded, accept and expend the FY 2021 Justice Assistant Grant, JAG, administered by the Office of Criminal Justice Services, OCJS, of the Ohio Department of Public Safety, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Kamer.
Thank you, Madam President. Committee's report is favorable, and we're asking for suspension of the rules.
Any objections on suspension of the rules? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
Thank you. Nothing further. Thanks.
Thank you so much. The rules have been suspended. The committee's report is favorable. Roll call.
Ayler,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Holland,
Aye.
Hamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Malik,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Amobian,
Aye.
Samples,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
This passes 13-0. Item number 20, offered by Kamer, ordinance authorizing the deputy mayor for public safety or his designee to apply for, and if awarded, accept and expend the FY 2020 Project Safe Neighborhoods Grant administered through the Office of Criminal Justice Services, OCJS, of the Ohio Department of Public Safety, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Kamer.
Thank you, Madam President. Committee's report is favorable, and we're asking for suspension of the rules.
Any objections on suspension of the rules? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
Thank you, Madam President. This, if awarded, would be devoted to overtime enforcement and target gun violence. With that, we're asking for passage.
Okay, thank you so much. The rules have been suspended. The committee's report is favorable. Roll call.
Ayler,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Holland,
Aye.
Hamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Malik,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Amobian,
Aye.
Samples,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
This ordinance passes 13-0. Item number 21, offered by Kamer, ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to apply for, and if awarded, accept and expend the FY 2021-2022 Quick Response Team QRT grant funding from the Ohio Attorney General's Office Law Enforcement Diversion Program, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Kamer.
Thank you, Madam President. Committee's report is favorable, and we're asking for suspension of the rules.
Any objections on suspension of the rules? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
Thank you. This is to continue our fight and address the problems in regards to opiate overdoses. And also Captain McCosey from the Akron Police Department did send us an email with some information in regards to this too. With that, we're asking for passage.
Thank you so much. The rules have been suspended. The committee's report is favorable. Roll call.
Ayler,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Holland,
Aye.
Hamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Malik,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Amobian,
Aye.
Samples,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
Passes 13-0.
Okay. Thank you so much. That concludes our new legislation for this evening. We will now move to the portion of our meeting that we refer to as our public comment period. We do have one individual who is online with us to participate, and that is Mr. Harrington Hargrove. Mr. Hargrove, can you hear us?
There you go.
Hello?
All right. And is there any way that we can just move the camera up so that we can see Mr. Hargrove's face? Much better. Okay.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's a little better. Thank you so much. Mr.
Okay.
Hargrove, before you bring forth your comments, I'm just going to ask that you please be sworn in by a member of our law department.
Please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth? If so, please answer, I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Hargrove. You will have 3 minutes to speak before this body.
Okay. My name is Harrington Hargrove. I live at 1008 Laurel Avenue, Akron, 44307, Ward 3. I'm here in reference to the American Recovery Act and the Elevate Akron study. Council, every one of you know what the Elevate Akron found out, and that is the city of Akron has redlined the Black community of economic opportunity. I live in Ward 3, in the part of the city that has been written off for economic prosperity for 35 years. The American Recovery Act funding should be spent in the Black communities first. So the city should talk to the people so we can have a say in what goes in our neighborhoods. As I always say, if you don't allocate, we can't grow. On July the 6th, I spoke to City Council in reference to 6 major projects that the city has invested in Ward 3, but none was for the Black community. It's as plain as day. It's time for a real plan that elevate all of our city. I'm asking City Council to look into this matter that I've been asking for some time. And so with that, I'm going to end. But Council, we need economic opportunity. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hargrove. That concludes our public comment period for this evening. We're now going to move into our committee assignments, planning and economic development. Councilman Fusco.
1.
Public safety, Councilman Kamer.
12 p.m.
Public service, Councilwoman Samples.
2 p.m.
Rules, Councilman Freeman.
2 p.m.
Health and Social Services, Councilwoman Amobian.
2:30.
Public Utilities and Green Committee, Councilman Freeman.
2:45.
Budget and Finance, Councilman Freeman.
3 p.m.
And Housing and Neighborhood Assistance, Councilman Fusco.
Subject to a call.
Parks and Rec, Councilman Neal.
1:45.
Okay, thank you so much. Is there anything else coming before council at this time? Councilman Kamer?
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to let all council members know Public Safety will be meeting next Monday at 12 p.m. And we do have the new police chief coming to speak with us in regards to gun violence and any other police leadership. Just wanted to remind everybody, 12 p.m. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Councilman Kamer. Is there anything else coming before council at this time? If not, I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn. We have a
Madam Chair.
motion. Can we get a second? Oh,
Madam
Councilman
Chair.
Neal, yes?
Yes, thank you. Couple things. One, I do want to stress the importance of council having input on the American Rescue Plan dollars. The city had to submit its initial plan on August 31st. Of course, we were on vacation or recess. They have to submit their final plan with budget for this allocation on October 31st. And council needs to have a discussion along with the administration, along with our citizens. It is encouraged as part of the best practice of that American Rescue Plan dollars so that we can, as has been asked by Mr. Hargrove, equitably invest those dollars into our community. So I'm hoping that we can plan that because October 31st will be here before you know it. And also I wanted to speak to the point of, I read the article of the city raising the minimum wage to $15 and joining the federal government, which was a good thing. But I was troubled when I read the article. And I read that Miss Christy Williams, who has worked for the city for 30 years. I know Christy, we graduated together. So I reached out to her and I asked her, I said, hey, Christy, you've been with the city for 30 years. You never wanted to go full time? She says, yes, she did. But she was never given opportunity. 30 years of being locked out of healthcare. 30 years of being locked out of a retirement plan. Folks, that's why I say we can't just talk about equity. Now, thank God, 30 years, we know this administration wasn't in office. But when we talk about structural and institutional practice, if you're not aware of how institutions work, you just keep going on and on and on. And if it wasn't for the discussion that was brought about the Elevate Akron report and the George Floyd, you know what? Our employees still may not be at 15, but this is what I want to know. 30 years, how many other employees are like Ms. Williams, who were locked out of economic opportunity in this city for 30 years? What is the demographic makeup of those employees that have been locked out for 30 years? Then I want to know how many employees over that 30 years were employed in park and recreation. And what was the demographic makeup of those employees? When you have equitable metrics in place, when you hire, when you pass policy, it helps take the blind spots away so that you can check. But folks, we're talking about life-changing economic opportunity for someone that was locked out and others locked out of this city's economic benefit for 30 years. Think about it. Think if she would have been able to participate in the city's pension plan for 30 years. You're talking about a 6-figure pension for her. Think if she's had any healthcare issues over the 30 years. So next week, when we talk about this part that talks about the city, administration, legislative body, the judicial system, our governing unions, sitting down and having a conversation about creating metrics for understanding what equity is about, I'm hoping everyone can grab this picture right now. Just think if you were locked out of the economic opportunity for the time you've been an employee. It's unacceptable. And again, this is, of course, we know that 30 years, I don't think any of us were around, not even you, Mr. Freeman. But hey, we have an opportunity to take a serious look and to put policy in place that hopefully will reveal any other underlying blind spots that lie within our policies and practices, and definitely work to correct. I'd love to see after, again, and I want this to be a part of public record. Want to know who has been locked out that wanted opportunity for 30 years? What does the demographic makeup of those employees look like? And then who has been hired over those 30 years? And what does the demographic makeup of those employees look like? Because when we have the opportunity to do right by those who were locked out, we need to do right by them.
Thank you so much, Councilman Neal, for sharing. Councilman Malik.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to echo some of what Councilman Neal said about the rescue plan funding. The mayor's office has shared the general categories of how they hope to spend some of this money with us, but we haven't yet seen the detailed programmatic plans. And the administration has rightly taken a significant amount of time, roughly 6 months, I think, in thoughtfully crafting, I'm sure what their proposal will look like. But I think it's absolutely critical that council take, whether it's 45 days or 90 days to fully review it, to offer thoughtful feedback and commentary and really do our due diligence, not delay for delay's sake, but so that we live up to our responsibility as legislators when we're talking about so many millions of dollars and once in a generation funding. So this is the first I'm hearing of any kind of October deadline, but really, really concerned about that and really want to make sure that we can lay out a schedule by which we can provide input and really dig into it and offer, the views of our respective constituents. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilman Malik. Councilman Fusco?
Yes. Lower hand. Thank you. Just wanted to touch base on a couple of comments. I certainly appreciate having been in the administration, working closely, obviously, with the Recreation Bureau. That's where the majority of those folks that just can't seem to get that full-time status. I appreciate the comments and looked at it several years back in terms of what we could do for those folks that are seasonal folks. And that's where this comes into play at. Those are the ones that were underpaid in the Recreation Bureau. Whenever we make cuts and times are dire, just a couple of years ago, we did that. The first cuts go to the Recreation Bureau, unfortunately. But I can tell you this, in order for someone to get hired full-time and to receive those benefits, they have to pass the test. And then what previously happened before the new charter change, a supervisor could only look at 3 individuals, the top 3 individuals that would pass that test. The good news is, though, and it gives me some hope, is that now we've expanded that since the last charter change to 10 individuals can be interviewed and considered. And that needs to be discussed as well. But there's so many great people over the years that would take that seasonal application every year for both seasons, the summer and the winter seasons, and they would go through that whole process. I know we've talked about that in the past in terms of becoming those employees and just on a part-time status as seasonals. And that's a tough system. But certainly appreciate the comments and just wanted to remind council of some of those issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Fusco. Councilwoman Amobian?
Thank you, Madam President. I can appreciate all the reasons why sometimes we don't do things. But there's so many other inequities that we need to address. I noticed today that and I know that bounce is very important to our economic development in this community. And thank God that we had the foresight to see how we could get them to diversify the staff, and they've done some of that. And now we're looking at another $3 million to go to Bounce to help them continue to expand their business and incubator and all of that. And I think that's critically important because they are important to our community. But I also look at the opportunities that we have to invest in minority business owners who are trying to develop their business, but we don't lend the same support. I just found out last week that we have a young man and his wife who have purchased Rankin Elementary School, and he would like to create a workforce development program there. Now, this is a wonderful opportunity for us to work with this particular individual to see how we can help him develop his plan, put something in that community, in that building, and we have the dollars now to help do that. It's those kinds of opportunities that we don't take advantage of, and then we make excuses for not doing anything to expand our workforce to make it look like this community. So we have to really take advantage of opportunities to do things. I would be interested in knowing too, those individuals that have been hired full-time on the staff of the Akron City workforce, just to kind of see how many of those individuals that have been hired full-time, and compare that to those that are seasonal employees who, for whatever the reason may be, I don't know anything about all this testing, but I would assure you that there have been opportunities, I'm sure, available for folks to take advantage of. But it's important for us to look at what we're doing, and this may be just a critical time to do that. We have the resources, and we shouldn't just squander them and ignore this continuing problem, because it is a problem. And I keep talking about this man who purchased this Rankin elementary school. You know, God knows how much it's going to cost to try to operate that building. But he has an idea of what he would like to do, and he says that he's developed his plan. And I'm going to refer him to staff at the city that I talked to today to see what we can do to get behind him and support his project. But these are opportunities that we have to get behind and start doing something to show that we have resources that not only will we support the majority race and the programs that generate these jobs, but that we will help those that are trying to help our community. Because if somebody can put something in that building, in that part of town, what a wonderful thing it would be for a diverse group of individuals to gain some skills. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Councilwoman Amobian. Councilwoman Hollins?
Thank you, Madam President. I want to echo the celebration of the announcement on Friday of 6 weeks of paid parental leave and a $15 minimum threshold wage for city employees. I want to celebrate it because both are just absolutely the right thing to do, and because they represent a very real and very meaningful investment in our most important asset in the city, and that's our workers and our kids and our families. But I really want to celebrate it because what this decision on the part of the mayor allowed us to understand is how sustainable and how easy and how affordable it is to do the right thing. What was revealed in this process is that the cost of these moves was less than 0.5% of the overall payroll cost for the city employees. This is a wonderful start and a wonderful example that we're setting for all employers in the city of Akron. I couldn't be more pleased. And I hope it's just the beginning of a real meaningful demonstration of how much we value the dignity of work. I also want to jump on something that Councilman Neal and Malik said too. We do have a once in a generation opportunity to do some real things with the American Recovery Plan spending decisions. And I do understand that there's a way that this will happen, but I'm also a huge fan and right now a big advocate for the idea that the councilman enunciated here of open sharing. Let's talk about it. Let's have some process. Let's let the good people of the city of Akron understand what the decisions will be and how they'll be made. And thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman Holland. Just a couple of things before we adjourn. Again, we have heard Mr. Hargrove come before this body asking for support for minority-owned businesses. I have asked the administration to come and give a presentation because I'm excited that the city of Akron does have a plan and they are prepared to support minority-owned businesses here in the city of Akron. And so they will come on next Monday and present that plan to council. Also on next Monday, we will have a starting conversation about American Rescue Dollars, and council will have an opportunity to engage in that conversation. So that presentation will also be on next Monday. I do believe we had a motion on the floor for adjournment. So if there are no objections, this meeting is adjourned. Good night.
This concludes the live broadcast of Akron City Council. Margot Somerville, President of Council, presiding.